The movie The Woman in the Window was just released on Netflix, and as soon as it came out, it was all over the front page. It is a mystery thriller, or at least it starts off that way. By the ending, it is more of a messy disaster, and it stars some pretty well-known actors. We've got Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Gary Oldman, and Anthony Mackie. You know, that guy who lost a rap battle to Eminem.
Yeah.
And I think he was also in some other random movies. So the movie has a surprisingly good cast, which has to mean that this is a good movie, right? No, that's not right. Not even a little. And that is really disappointing, at least to me. I genuinely thought that this was going to be a good movie, or at least an entertaining watch. And I don't feel like I got it. And I love thrillers and mysteries. They also managed to get a good cast, and even the trailers made it seem interesting enough. But I guess that's kind of on me being a bit of an optimist and not really doing my research. Because if you dig a little, or even just look up the trailers, you'll see that this movie was supposed to release over a year ago. Which, I mean, I guess it can happen due to the pandemic and everything shutting down. But wait, that's not it, because it was delayed due to re-editing after poor test screenings. Nice. And yeah, it shows. This just seems like a movie that was ruined in post. I think it had potential to be decent, but reshoots and clunky editing just made it an absolute jumbled mess. Within the first 10 minutes of watching, I just knew that I wanted to talk about it, because I have a lot of problems with the movie. And one of my biggest gripes is that none of the characters seem even remotely believable. They're just comically bad people. There is literally one redeemable character in the entire movie. One. Don't get me wrong though, there are plenty of issues with the movie, but that doesn't excuse the characters being way too over the top and, quite honestly, just complete ass. Now, before we start, there are some twists and turns ahead, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and or want to avoid spoilers, now might be a good time to click off this video. To the rest of you, let's get into it. So the movie opens up with something that looks like stars or snow, something we'll see repeatedly throughout the movie. And then our main character wakes up. It was all just a dream. The start of the movie feels a bit odd since there's so much going on and everything is so tense, but we don't really know why. She sees a shrink, she takes meds, but we don't know what it's all about. And it takes a while for them to even mention it in the movie, but she's agoraphobic. Which essentially just means that she's afraid of going outside and leaving her home. And I don't get why they don't tell us immediately because they spoil it in the trailers anyway. But yeah, we don't know why she's agoraphobic, although don't worry, we'll find out eventually. But due to her agoraphobia, she can't really see her family because she and her husband are separated. It's not all bad though, since she at least gets to talk to them daily.
Hey, Slugger.
Hey,
Tell me something good.
something good.
Or so she says, even though we never see her on the phone with them. I'm sure it's nothing. And holy shit, this has to be the most active neighborhood I've ever seen. Has no one heard of curtains? Private business? Anyone? Then her doorbell rings. A new family just moved in across the street, and the son shows up at her front door. And she just lets him in, no problem. He could be a serial killer for all she knows.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
Yes. Hi, Anna.
I'm from across the street.
And I thought this was meant to be her safe space. But no, she just constantly lets everyone into her house at all times a day, complete strangers even. She also has no problem looking out the window, even though I thought the outside scared her. I'm not sure if that's how it works, guys. But yeah, she lets him in.
Why would kids need a psychologist?
You really don't know why a kid would need a psychologist?
No, I mean, I'm sure they do, but I mean, like, why? Like, why do the kids who see you need a psychologist?
All sorts of reasons.
Like school shootings or torturing?
Sorry, you gotta go by.
I'm sorry, I'm so allergic to you.
Why didn't you say something?
Oh, I don't want to offend him.
He's not that sensitive.
No offense, but like, is this kid's special needs? He's just so odd and he gives me the heebie-jeebies. Tuesday, Halloween night. David here is their tenant and he lives downstairs.
You know, David, you've been my tenant for 3 months. You don't have to be so formal. You can just come in through the basement stairs.
No, I don't want to startle you. Dark in here. Do the bulbs need changing?
I like it dim.
You want to get some candy?
And if you think he seems like a nice guy, forget it, because the very next scene we see him in, he's like a completely new character. It's like we missed a scene where he suddenly became an asshole. You will be missed, nice guy David.
Get away from my house!
Look, I'm not from the US, right, so maybe this is just a culture thing? But would kids really egg the shit out of your house if you didn't give out candy? What if someone's not home? What do they do in really poor neighborhoods where people can't afford to give out candy? Sounds like you'd be carrying around more eggs than candy then. Hell, what if kids can't afford eggs? I guess I might just be thinking too much into this.
Do I need to call you a ambulance?
No, don't do that. Okay, you know who you are. You know what day it is.
Oh, hey there, stranger who showed up out of nowhere. Welcome. Amy is very nonchalant about a stranger being in her house, again. And she just assumes she's Jane Russell, Ethan's mom.
You're Jane Russell. What makes you say that?
Yeah, I can tell you 100% that this is not Jane Russell.
No, I get panic attacks. It doesn't. Here. Have some of this brandy, please. I'm a...
Here, lady who just fainted that I know nothing about who might have health issues. Drink this brandy.
Take another drink, please.
I said drink it.
Pretty sure you're not supposed to be taking these with alcohol.
Haha, thanks for all the alcohol then. Thank you. But yeah, they chat a bit. She draws, something. In 2 seconds flat? What? This might be the most unbelievable thing in the entire movie. So, not Jane goes home. We have a quick make David a red herring scene.
You okay?
Yes. Who are you working with across the street?
Russell.
And then that night there is some commotion in the Russell house. It's really whatever. It's just set up for the next night. And guess what? The next night there's even more commotion. But this time she actually sees Jane, not Jane, get stabbed. Oh shit. But no worries, because this time she's prepared with a camera. Just take the picture. Just take the picture. Call the cops. What are you doing? Just take the picture first. After watching the movie multiple times, I still don't get this scene. I think it's just there to make us question what's actually happening, but we never get an answer. We never come back to this scene. She got hit by a car. She can't just wake up on the couch. This movie, dude.
I'm sorry we haven't met. I'm Jane Russell.
And surprise, surprise, Jane is still alive. Just a different person? So the movie is really making us question Anna's sanity at this point. We see everything through her eyes, but due to all the meds, alcohol, and possible hallucinations? Question mark. She seems to be an unreliable narrator.
Ma'am, you alright? Why is he here?
Mr. Russell believes that you made a mistake.
You have never met my wife.
But yeah, no one believes her. We're not sure if she's insane or not. And then everybody leaves. It's detective day. Whoop whoop. Time to snoop on the neighbors. Ah, nothing like a warm cup of research to wake me up in the morning.
My heart is broken forever, but Pam's memorial was brightened by so many uplifting letters and messages from Atkinson co-workers.
And through this research, we find out that a woman who used to work for the dad, Gary Oldman, was found dead. Anna is trying to prove that he killed not Jane because of what she saw.
I saw him do it.
To prove she's not crazy because she thinks he killed her. We also find out that David has a parole problem, and it's so pointless. They're just trying to make him a suspect in the potential murder. He's just a red herring.
Fucking jump and I reacted! Gah!
We're cool, right?
One thing that is not pointless though is the fact that she finds an earring that not Jane wore when she came over, right next to David's bed. So maybe she really was there? There are lots of clues scattered around that makes it seem like Anna is of sound mind. The drawing, the earrings, the random picture, and yet everyone denies it. I can't blame her for questioning her own sanity at this point. The picture though, that is very strange. And it freaks her out so much that she calls the cops again, and they still don't believe her.
I'm sleeping.
Or you wanted to look asleep.
I'm asleep. What the hell? Can you track the email?
Track it.
Or trace
You know
it,
you can't
whatever.
track a Gmail account, right?
No one tell the FBI. You knew that Gmail was more secure than the White House. And then more people show up at her house. It's the goddamn Royal Rumble up in here. They all deny what she saw, and she starts acting real crazy.
She's delusional.
Ethan told me, Jane told me, I saw him do it.
She is Jane!
What's happening?
She even throws poor David under the bus.
Got a last name, David?
No, just David. Like Sting.
He was in prison for assault. He was in prison. He shouldn't be in New York. He's been in her house. He must have met her.
What are you talking about, Willis?
But here comes the big reveal.
I'm sorry, but your family is dead.
You remember the consistent snow dreams she's been having? Well, it turns out she was in a car crash with her family and everyone except her perished. She got them both killed, but in order to live with the trauma, she suppressed it. This is what caused her agoraphobia, and all the times we thought she was talking to them, that was just in her mind.
All the years you thought he was with you, that was just in your mind.
And I get it, this would break just about anyone and is absolutely horrific, but it just doesn't hit. I feel nothing. The whole movie has been focusing on the Jane murder plot, and this hasn't really been properly developed. It's also poorly paced because it's over in like a minute. But in the books, they were crashed for days with no cell phone service. They were alive for a while, which is why she put snow on her daughter's lips. But if you didn't read the book, you'd have no idea. And after this revelation, it's like, yeah, that sucks, but back to the murder plot now. At this point though, everyone is convinced that she was hallucinating the murder, and she even questions it herself, so she just decides to let it go. But realizing that her family is gone and she's not getting better, she's just hit rock bottom.
I'm making this video as my final will and testament.
She even goes as far as to record her suicide note. But at the last possible second, she changes her mind. And while reminiscing and looking at old pictures of her family, she notices something. She sees not Jane's face in the wine glass. She's not making it up, she's not crazy. Even though she sure acts like it.
I want to show you a picture.
And now David here has a bit of backstory for us.
Her name is Katie.
You spend the night with her.
She's not Jane Russell, but she is the birth mother of Ethan. Dun dun dun.
She ran away on him when she was 8 months pregnant. Disappeared. Alistair spent 2 years chasing her down, found her in some Oregon meth commune. He took the boy. She went to prison.
She eventually tracked down Ethan in our current time, which led to her death. And again, David is such a dick about it. Ah, what happened to make you this way, David? There's also some really tense music playing, making us think that maybe David was part of her murder? He spent a day working for Gary and claims he never once saw the real Jane, which is awfully suspicious.
You can't just run away from this!
Watch me.
Until he walks out the door and gets attacked by something. And here comes easily the worst part of the movie, by the way. Because shocker, it's not Gary Oldman that killed not Jane, it was Ethan. He's not special needs, he's a fucking psycho.
We never had a chance to say goodbye.
You can tell from his evil villain monologue. He threw Gary Oldman's coworker off the building and got a taste for murder. He then killed his mom, and now he wants to do the same to Anna. We also sort of gloss over the fact that this child psychologist couldn't tell that there was something off about this kid. I guess she's just not very good at her job. And from here on out, the movie just turns into a shitty slasher. David, no! Yo, when the fuck did he turn into Batman? He's just some guy. He can't do this. What the fuck? At this point, I legitimately thought that there was going to be a reveal that none of this was happening, and that she killed David, that she had just lost her mind. But nope. Which sucks, because it might have maybe saved the movie.
Victory.
Hey.
She wakes up at the hospital and is greeted by Detective Little. He apologizes for not believing in her and hands her phone.
I'm sorry. And we messed up, and you're going to get a lot of apologies from a lot of people.
Oh, an apology. Thank you so much. Aw, that fixes everything. He tells her to delete her suicide video because
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. But not you. Not anymore.
I genuinely like this guy, and it's a shame he didn't have a bigger part in the movie. He walks out of the movie for good, but he will never walk out of our hearts.
I have to go now.
Ah, yes, a happy ending. Just what the movie needed. Nothing like getting over my trauma thanks to some more different trauma. Agoraphobia? Psh, what's that? Never heard of it. And then she drives off into the sunset and never ever had any problems or PTSD ever again. Ah, what a beautiful ending. Except this ending is absolute horse shit. You can't just hit us with a happy ending after all this. Not only are you going to need way more than 9 months to get over something like this, the ending simply doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. The whole movie plays on not knowing what is real and what isn't. It's an interesting premise, but if it fails to stick the landing, it doesn't matter how good the rest of the movie is. Which is especially bad when it wasn't even that good to begin with. In my opinion, they should have rewritten the characters to make them somewhat likable or relatable, because they're way too over the top. Completely revamp the ending, even if it's in the books, change it up, it doesn't work. Everything is so dark and depressing, so make the ending more in line with the rest of the movie. At least make it somewhat bittersweet, instead of a fully happy one. I'm not sure if it would have been enough to save the movie, but I still think it would have been an improvement. But as it currently stands, at least to me, it didn't live up to expectations. While there are definitely worse movies you could have watched during quarantine, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.